I am horrible at setting and accomplishing goals. Are you guys? So in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've started establishing new goals for my life, for work, for family, for the future. And it's not that I've never set goals before. It's just that I've never been one who's great at taking those large, lofty goals and breaking them into daily tasks or smaller bite-sized goals. And I've really been encouraged and motivated a lot over the last month to start implementing these things in my life. And so I kind of wanted to share what some of those are more than anything, so that this would be like an accountability piece. So I'd be able to look back on this in a year from now and see how I'm doing on those things. And so I just want to share what those are. I want to share why I have those goals and some of the tools and routines and things that I've put in place, practically speaking, to help me accomplish those goals. There's 4 big things that really stand out to me. One is I want to create a stream of passive income. And I don't want to be rich, and I don't want to stop working a job, and I very much like my job. But I would just like to have more financial freedom for my family, so that we'd be able to give generously more, so that we'd be able to not stress and strain so much. The next 2 goals are kind of similar, and they kind of come hand in hand. I want to start vlogging more, kind of just to document my life. And the big reason behind that is I hope that in some way, by me vlogging and documenting my life, that it will be an encouragement to people if they choose to watch it. That's it. For vlogs, that's it. But the other one that kind of goes kind of horse and carriage with it is I want to start teaching more. And so I want to bring things of value. I really want to be helpful, and I want to help people, and this is just one of the ways that I can do it. And so I want to be vlogging more regularly, and I want to be teaching and putting out different series, like educational series, but basically like through documenting my life and then sharing the things that I learn. I hope to bring value to people that are out there. And then kind of one of those things, I'm a designer, and something I've always wanted to do, I've always said that I would do, and I've procrastinated on it for so long, is I want to start like a really casual like clothing line. So I just want to create, and I already have a couple of ideas, so I'll be sharing those with you guys. But another vlogger that I've been watching, her name's Charlie Marie. She really has encouraged me and inspired me to just get off my butt and actually do it. So I'm going to be making stuff and presenting it. There's 3 really big reasons as to why I want to start trying to accomplish these goals, start setting new goals and attaining those, and really making this part of my daily life. And out of those 3, the first one is character. And I think that I have a good work ethic, and I'm going to kind of break this into 2 parts, this one idea of character. But number 1 is I know that by striving and attaining and working hard, that all of that can do is build my character even more. And so I really, character is a very valuable thing to me, finding it in others. And if I want to be that encouragement to others, I'm going to need to have that. So I need to put in the time. I need to put in the effort. I need to hustle. And kind of the second part of character is I have a family. I have 2 kids. I have a 4 and a 5-year-old. And I really want them to see what hard work and effort looks like. I want them to see what excellence looks like. And so I want to set the example for my family. The second reason is, I kind of mentioned it earlier, is I want to bring value. I want to bring value to people around me, like directly around me, but I want to bring value to people that I don't even know and have never even met. And that's not so I have like a warm and fuzzy feeling inside, but it's just because I should. It's what we should be doing. We should be caring about people and bringing value to people. And that is something of eternal purpose and not just of like a temporary purpose. And so that's the second reason why I'm going to start charging hard over the next days, weeks, months, and years, is to be valuable, to bring value to people. And lastly, it kind of, the third one is directly linked to that passive income piece, is I would like to have a sense of freedom. Right now I work for a company I work for a tech startup here in Honolulu, and I still do client work from time to time on the side. And I've noticed that since this has happened, since I've been working other places and taken projects on the side to do my freelance work over here, that I can be much more selective over those projects. I just did a request for a proposal the other day, submitted a proposal to a client that I would actually genuinely be excited to do. And so it's not just financial freedom, but it's also creative freedom, freedom to follow my goals, follow my dreams, follow my interests, wherever those might lead me, and not follow the 9 to 5 and the clock punching mentality. So I'm not necessarily like, I don't want to be an entrepreneur, but I do want to have an entrepreneurial mindset about the way that I live my life. And in the end, really, I quote Paul Boag when he said, he really encouraged me to build a lifestyle business and not a money-driven business. And so that's what I want. I want a lifestyle business that's wrapped around my life versus my life that's wrapped around my business. I always think it's really good to want these things and have drive and motivation for them, but it's kind of nothing unless you put them into practice. So I want to talk real quickly about some of the tools or some of the practical things that I've put into play to try to accomplish things. And I really do hope that if any of you have suggestions, that you'll be an encouragement to me. That would be really, really great. I really want to be intentional, and I want to have this like drive. And one of the things that I know it's been talked about so much, but one of the things that's really been helping me in the last few weeks is the Pomodoro technique, and just working for a set amount of time, driving hard, and then taking that 5 minutes of rest. And so I want to share with you the way that I do the Pomodoro technique. And the first thing that I'll point out is I use a little app online called Be Focus, and it's you can find it in the App Store. It literally lives in your toolbar. You can press go, you can create a task list, and it's like a couple bucks if you buy the Pro version, which literally just takes away the ads, but that's okay because it helps me to just kind of set those things in place, and I can set up my tasks, and it just auto runs me until my break is over. I use it at work and I use it at home. I use it for everything, so I would recommend that. But let me share with you my modified kind of Pomodoro. I do 35 minutes and then 5 minutes. It's hard for me to get anything done within that 25. And then during my 5 minutes, I do one of two things. I either stretch, I stand up and kind of move around, and because I don't have like a standing workstation, or two, I usually have some sort of puzzle on my desk. I have a lot of like the little puzzles, like wood puzzle. Let me see, I'll go get one for you. Stuff like this, like a little physical puzzle that I have to try to figure out during that 5 minutes. It's like I'm unhooking my brain from the work that I'm doing, but I'm not shutting my brain off completely. I don't want to just like veg and go on Twitter and Instagram. I keep my brain like activated in doing something like this. So that's just like my recommendation for the Pomodoro technique. The second kind of recommendation, it's not necessarily like a specifically a tool, although I will mention a few right now, but this is kind of like umbrella your workflow and your productivity flow. And so as a designer, like I think it's really important to spend some time learning the tools that will help you. And so for instance, I use Sketch for Mac almost exclusively for everything now because I do mainly web and product design. Know what to use, when to use, and then get really, really good at the things that are going to increase your workflow. I can do like 5 times as much now in Sketch designing for an iOS or Android app than it could before using Photoshop or whatever. And so that's been really, really great for my workflow. And then likewise, know when to say, sorry, Sketch just isn't going to work for this. I need to do a lot of photo manipulation, and you roll over to that one. But also just kind of, find the ones that work for you, find what you need for your field of expertise, and become an expert at them and know when to switch in between. Okay, so this next one is a new one for me, and it's going to be really funny because in a digital age, like a journal, it does so much. Like keeping some sort of notebook, sketchbook, Moleskine, whatever on you. And I kind of, again, I have 2 kind of points on this. Number 1 would be like the journaling aspect, and then number 2 would just be having something that you can just jot ideas and thoughts and stuff down. Have it on you all the time. Phones are great, but things can get lost in phones, and there's like a tangible nature to this that I can go back to and reference and sketch and have ideas and stuff for. Lastly, I will make some recommendations for actual products that I use, and these are two that I would recommend. They're free to use, but I use Trello and I use Wunderlist kind of for like my daily tasks, and I just want to share quickly how I use both of those things in tandem. Personally, I use Trello as a life goals list, and so I have a life goals board in Trello, and on that board I have multiple kind of areas of my life, whether it be like design or development or business or family or my marriage or all of these things that I want to accomplish, and I throw things in there, and those are kind of like my macro. That's like my overarching way that I keep tabs, and then I use Wunderlist kind of like in conjunction with that, where I will take one of those macro Trello kind of goals, so whether that's like have this many subscribers on YouTube or take my wife out on this many dates, and then I kind of take those and I break them into bite-sized tasks over in Wunderlist. So I'm thinking that same title for that card in Trello, make my wife feel more loved this year, or design this many like free resources and release them, and then I break those into like smaller subtasks. So I'll make a whole list for that task and break it into subtasks, and so that's kind of how I use those things in tandem. And I'll have them open and like both open in one window, and I'm looking at it and I'm going, okay, like I want to do that. I'm not working on that right now, and I'm gonna pop that into Wunderlist. So that's been really, really effective just as far as keeping track on the daily. Now let's talk routines. Routines are one of the most important things for people who want to be productive and effective in all areas of their life. And I'll be really, really honest and really transparent. I've had no routine in my life, maybe besides to sleep in as much as possible, and just to make sure as long as I'm at work on time. That's kind of like my routine. So back to the journal and the book, one of the things I do is I have a morning, and I don't know if you can see that, ready? A morning and an evening routine list, like front page, and then over here I put my daily goals. Okay, so this is my routine that I do morning and evening. I'm a post-it kind of guy, so just stick with me. And then every day I have a new post-it for what are like the 3 to 5 things I want to get done. This is kind of a ripoff from like bullet journaling or 5-minute journaling. You don't need to buy one of those schmancy books. Post-it notes, okay? So I literally just write like the 3 to 5 things I want to accomplish that day, and I try to star 1 or 2 of them, and those should be the focus, the primary of that little list. And so that's really been helping me in conjunction with these morning and evening routines. So I just want to share my morning routine with you, so you can kind of, I don't know, maybe it'll be helpful. So my morning routine is kind of like, there's like 7 or 8 steps in it. And so step 1 would be, the first thing I do when I wake up is I drink a full glass of cold water. The second thing I do is I stretch, and I do push-ups. And I'm not trying to be like a physical fitness guru. I'm just trying to like wake my body up, be limber, and just do something to get my blood pumping in the mornings. Okay, so number 3, I make my breakfast and my lunch. I'm trying to be as frugal as possible, so I don't eat out very much, and so I make everything in the morning to prepare it for that morning and that afternoon. Sometimes I'll even make it at night if I have time in preparation for the next day. Number 5, it's a new practice for me. I've always been so horrible at blogging, but then I've read a few articles lately that say when you wake up in the morning to implement into your routine, one of the things to implement into your routine is to write for 5 to 10 minutes. So like journaling, writing, whatever you want to call it. I've never really been so great at it before, but that's what I'm doing now. I'm whipping out my laptop, just opening up Apple Notes, and I am just starting a new page with a new date on it and writing anything that's on my mind for 5 to 10 minutes. And it's interesting. I've noticed in the last few weeks as I've been doing it, I've been able to blog more throughout the week because my brain is kind of like already been processing for the day. I have thoughts, and so I'm outlining, I'm writing, I'm thinking more. And so that's one of the new things I'm doing too. I obviously get dressed and take a shower, but then one of the other things, like crucial things that I do is I go over my daily goals. And so we'll talk about it in a second, but I write my daily goals out during my nighttime routine over here. And then each morning before I leave the house, I reevaluate those daily goals to make sure that I wasn't like a crazy person the night before. And then I figure out, I just kind of think about how I'm going to accomplish those things today. So like maybe I need to do those like before I leave the house. Maybe I need, which ones of those are going to be evening or nighttime. And just kind of like re-establishing those in my mind as like the valuable and important things to do for the day. Now for my nighttime routine, I've at times have had an inconsistent morning routine, but having like a nighttime routine has never been something that I've really had. And so this has been really weird and new for me, but in the last few weeks, these are a few of the things that I've been doing to try to be more productive. Number one is I have a time of reflection. So I look at the day and I think about what things went good today, what things went bad today. Number two, I set tomorrow's goals. I take my new Post-it note and slap it in the front of my book, and I write out those 3 to 5 things that are going to be really important for the next day, and I star 1 to 2 of them as the most important priority. Number three, when my wife and I are laying in bed, she's actually adopted this and she started doing this with me, is we count our wins collectively as a team. So when we lay in bed, we share with each other what went really good in our day, and then we encourage each other for those things. Just encouraging things. Hey, this went really, really good. I have this spirit of gratitude that I really want to be stirred up in me. And so the more grateful I can be for the things that I've been given and the things that have happened and the things I've been blessed with, the more positive and encouraging I can be to other people. And that's like one of my goals, right? Is to be encouraging. Lastly, I make sure that before I go to bed, I drink another full glass of water and I turn my phone on airplane mode. If you try to call me during the middle of the night, I probably won't pick up. I'm sorry, because it's on airplane mode, because your phone emits like a 6 foot like perimeter of electromagnetic kind of like pulse, and it's been proven to keep you from sleeping more soundly. And so I do that, and I mix that with a like sleep timing like aid thing. So I wake up at the prime time within my like REM sleep or something. And so I've been doing that for the last week, and that's really helped me. I wake up less groggy, and I wake up a little bit more ready to like start the day. The last thing I'm going to talk about is your mentality. A financial course, Dave Ramsey, whoever it is, a planner, they can help you budget your money, and you can try to make more money or live cheaper. But if you don't change your mentality on how you spend money, then you're never going to change. You're always going to be in debt. And I really apply that to the same thing as far as my goals. I can have goals, I can want to accomplish goals, but if I don't change my mentality about these goals and have people that help me do that and really kind of like mentor me into that, then my behavior is not going to change. My mentality is not going to change. Again, this is just kind of an accountability vlog, and if it helps anybody, I'd be really, really excited to hear what you think about anything that I've said. And if you are interested in seeing more, maybe subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and check me out on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff too. I'll put the links down in the description. I hope you guys have a productive weekend. Spend time with your family, rest, but when Monday comes, kick some butt. See you guys later.